Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the city of Minot Khufu. I think we're almost there on getting the next obelisk going, and I think that's basically all we're waiting for, really. Well, I guess there's also going to be this, but that's not... We should be able to get this amount in the time it takes to actually finish the obelisk. And everything else, we have more than enough anyway, so it should be fine. So... yeah, I guess at this point, we could just leave it and wait for stuff to finish, but that's boring. And I do think that we can push this just a little bit further. Maybe. Let's start on this end. Do we want to do beer again? We could do beer again. Sure. That's a lot of beer. Well... whatever. Yeah. That's kinda... That's actually something that I tend to forget when planning out like nice neighborhoods. I forget that once you get to a certain point, you need multiple different temples. And yeah. I mean, it's not really that bad. Well, I guess since the main metric is the number of different types of temples, it is actually not superb overall. But I mean, over there's no way of fixing that. We already went over that last episode. It's not gonna happen. Where are you going?
It's the trader's life for me.
Oh no, you're gonna buy the linen over here. Shoot. We need well, okay. That's unexpected, actually. I didn't even think about that, but I guess that makes sense. This is the closest to where he comes in. Okay, well, anyway. While we continue to wait for the granite, which is almost done. Let's see. Okay, these guys are already up all the way. They're elegant. This one. Water carrier? Is there an intersection here that I'm not aware of? Doesn't look like it. Is that the water carrier? No, that's a fire marshal. That's concerning. The rest of these guys want better desirability. Let's go... every other like that or so. And you know what? I'm gonna stagger it. How on earth did this... Oh. We had a fire over here and I never fixed that. Shoot. Oh. Okay, that's unfortunate. Yeah, we can't fix that without removing this house and... meh. I don't like that. Do I care? Maybe... Why is it so much worse on this side than the other side? Wait a minute, hold on a second. Looks basically the same. And this is just all gardens. Actually, this seems a tiny bit darker. Is it fancy we want? It's fancy we want. Not elegant. Which... I don't know. To me, fancy seems like something of a step down from elegant, but whatever. Oh, no, that's a temple. Okay, we'll probably have... Okay. No, we don't. Never mind. Yeah. Fancy, elegant. Yeah, that strikes me as weird. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, the way I think of the words, but I think of it going fancy and then elegant being nicer. I don't know. How much beer do we have? 6,000. Yeah, we can do a nice festival. There's a bit of road there. Why is there a bit of road there? Who did that? You know what? Rather than just using shrines... Dang it. Wait, that's fancy? That's fancy. Elegant. It's the fancy is the best we can do. Not see, I'm getting them backwards again. I'm thinking of it as elegant being nicer. Actually, wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. In all of this, I have messed up numbers slightly. Fast needs one more. Nice. Okay, moving along. This one definitely needs... That really it. We do have a school, and it's functioning. What if What if we just did that? Yep, that did it. It does actually look like that's nicer even than over here, and there are no shrines up here. Interesting. That might be an indication that having the space between the roads, here, road 1, 2 for house, 1 for this line of gardens in the middle, and then 2 for house and then road. Maybe that's not actually optimal. Maybe we do want 2 house, 2 garden, 2 house, because gardens are way cheaper to do than shrines or even statues. Okay, I guess it's the same price as a small statue, but you don't want to do that in ridiculous amounts, you know? Like, that's... This is much easier to accomplish, but also faster, quite frankly, and it looks nice very quickly. So, maybe we do that moving forward. It would also mean that these things are slightly less obnoxious. Because one problem with the way we're doing it now is that we get this gap of 1 that we can't really do a whole lot with. Yes, we have a few buildings that are a single tile, but look at all this space we're just wasting. That would also mean that we can do a 3x3 on either side. That's not as compact, obviously, but maybe that's a good thing. I mean, I guess it also partially depends on the city specifically, because some of the cities we've had in the past have been, frankly, cramped even when we're doing our best in some cases. Okay, you need another temple over here. Is that possible? I mean, yes. Why not? Who needs a temple? Gonna have to be Osiris. Wait. Okay. Don't want to add the same god to the same line, because that's kind of defeating the purpose. So we're gonna have to wait for that to percolate in order to see the results. This... Ew. I'm gonna replace that garden with a statue. See if that helps. I'm gonna do the same on the other side too. This temple district, to be honest, has really not turned out nearly as nice as I was hoping. Not nearly as nice as some of the ones we have had in the past. It's really just that one that's... Yeah, it looks like it. What is causing... I guess it's this. Well, let's just... Why did it not do a 2x2? What is this? Oh, that's a statue. Right. Okay, well, that's good enough. What do we got going on here? Ah, right. Yes. Ugh. If we were sticking with this city for much longer, I would have to redo this, I think. This whole area here. It's just not very efficient. I don't think it's nearly... It's not as good as we could do it if we redid it. Okie dokie. Right about there. I assume it needs road access. Don't actually know for certain, though, to be fair. Not that it is gonna hurt, and this... ooh. Oh. Did that just get rid of... It did. Well, whatever. I don't know. I don't love that placement, to be honest. I really would have preferred to do it opposite sides here, but I really didn't think that it was going to be more than one, because this... I thought it was like about 8 monument rating for an obelisk, but apparently not. Oh well. Whatever. We learn for next time. Population is almost double what we need. That'd be cool to hit if we could before that thing finishes. No, that's not what I want. This might need to be, but it's not. It's not the housing road. Well, whatever. Since I'm just fiddling at this point, it is. Does it really matter at this point? Really? Seriously, that's not enough. Wait, there's a spot there that didn't get a plaza. That's weird. Literally just one spot there that didn't get a plaza. Can I be bothered to try and fix that? I'm gonna try one last thing, and if this doesn't work, then I don't care. You need a scribal school. The school is here. Oh, he's out of papyrus, so that might take a while. Oh. Yeah. That's gonna be just... Oh right, the Sonnet house is not desirable. I forgot about that. And still kinda... I don't know. Seems a little weird, but whatever. Yeah, this is going to be hitting our papyrus limits, I think. combined with the fact that this one has got this substantial intersection here, which is not helping things. I'm feeling like it's possible that the way I've been doing things in this city is not quite as optimal. Wow, that got all the way down to ordinary cottage. Why? Sheesh. The fact that it still hasn't gotten a teacher to pass by it, frustrating. Because it's still in these singles. Just no good. But yeah, I'm starting to feel like the way I've been doing it, where's one that's easy to see? With the housing like this, and then everything on either end, maybe not quite as optimal as it could be. For one thing, I'm thinking 8 might be too many if we want to get well, maybe not, because we are at the point where we've got the fancy residences, and it's some of these areas are definitely holding steady, so this is probably, well, then again, there, right there, we just had, it's not as stable as I'd like. That hasn't gone up very much. Has it gone up at all? I don't remember. But yeah, it's just not quite there. We need to do something else. It's just not quite as stable as it could be. I'm gonna lay some things out in a minute, but I want to make sure that everything is in fact not functioning. Why? Why would they not be able to get over to that house? There's no intersections. You know what? Since we're so close to the end of this, I don't... Is that really... Oh. Okay. For the purposes of keeping things just running, so I don't have to worry about it, I'm gonna just do that. Why did I leave a gap there like that? Sure, I did that for a reason, but I don't remember what. Is there anywhere else here? It's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. I don't. How much is it? The 5. That's not really. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. We're so close to the end anyway. It's just. I mean, I say we're so close. It's not quite as close as. Come on, people. It seems like these both carpenters guilds got their construction, their scaffolding going, and then ran out of employees, which is interesting timing. And by interesting, I mean kind of frustrating, but whatever. Okay, we've got this space out here, and I'm gonna. This is not. This is all. This is fine. I would say this is fine. This idea of having the housing in the middle, and then most of what the houses need at the end, with some here. This one I'm gesturing at is not the best example. This one is good. Having these two and then these. Part of the problem. Let's see. We have a couple of primary problems to solve here, right? First is you need to have the water supply in such a location where it gets water. You can't just put it wherever the heck you feel like. Which means that the housing is always, no matter what, bound to the location of water. And by extension, how far the water carrier can transport the water. Right? That's one thing. The next thing is the houses need access at all times to a constant supply, I guess. That doesn't really make sense for something like a temple. You don't have a supply of temple-ness. That's not how it works. But you get what I'm saying. Like, you have to have access to the structure at all times. And you need, well, let's lay it out. You need entertainment. Okay, I just alt-tabbed and came back. I missed that. That was that music track that's not safe for YouTube. Actually, I'm gonna leave that for last, because this in particular, no matter which we go for, kind of makes things a little bit more complicated because it requires an intersection. Even this one, which you would hope could do that, doesn't actually work because you absolutely must have at least that. Either that way. Actually, that will work there, but it won't like. See, you have to have intersections somehow, which is super annoying. But it is what it is. Other than that, you need, in order to get to this level, mortuaries are not required for the houses. They are, however, required for this. Possibly this? I don't remember. I don't think so, but I'm pretty sure this. What does it say? Quality of the city's housing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure to get above this level of prosperity, you have to have greater than 3x3 houses. At least some of them. I don't know how many. It's probably a percentage of the population that needs to be in luxury housing, but I'm pretty sure we've not exceeded, we've reached the limit of what we're capable of achieving in this city. No, I'm not gonna bother. It doesn't matter. If stuff falls down, whatever. We need that, we need that, we need that. Technically, we shouldn't need this because of this. Technically, also, we don't need one of these, but realistically, we need one of those. We need, at a minimum, 2 of these puppies in order, again, to get to the fancy level. That is the level that I'm aiming toward when it comes to the general population's housing. Because you get above this level, and that's when you get to the 3x3 houses, and the 3x3 houses don't contribute to the workforce. So it's kinda... That is... Honestly, that's why I put the 3x3 houses into their own separate district. Because that's a different structure at that point. Yes, it's a house in terms of it needs what a house needs, but it's also, it functions as a different structure, realistically. And also, obviously, because of the increase in the desirability around the temple complex and yada yada. We've been over all that. One of these. What else? I'm missing something. Oh. You need one of these. Am I forgetting anything? No, it's just the entertainment. And worth mentioning that at this level, I'm pretty sure you need at least 2 types, and I think probably 3 types. I don't remember exactly, but similar. This is... It's not that different, really. It's still an intersection. To be honest, even this is still... It's still an intersection. It still causes the same issues. So, this is kind of the minimum of what we need in order to have the fancy residences, right? Additionally, another complication is this road needs to, in some way, have access to the rest of the city. In some way. Because the bazaar must be supplied with food and goods from elsewhere, and that's the only way to do that. Whatever the road the bazaar is on needs to have access to the rest of the city. So, it needs to have access to the rest of the city, and also have access to the housing, which is, you know, roadblocks are great, but that is something that makes this slightly more complicated. We can't just completely isolate the houses. At least not... Would there be a way to I don't think there would be a way to isolate them. At least not a sensible way. There's probably some kind of cheese you could do with the game. I'm assuming. I can't think of any way to isolate this. Not that I necessarily want to, because again, part of the way that I want to do these cities in the first place is I want to treat it like a city and not a game, if that makes sense. How are we looking? Okay. And a big part of the way in which I want to accomplish that is by not completely isolating the housing from the industrial district. Because something you can do in this game is, for example, not a lot of space to make an example. Well, let's say in a smaller scale, something you can do is have the housing, have the industrial structures completely separate. They need some kind of road in order for the bazaars to get supplied, but that's... you can block that off with roadblocks so that these can't actually interact with each other. And then all of the industrial structures, you just put a hut in there and leave it at that. But that's... I don't like that. I really don't like that. For several reasons. And the big reason is just, it's very video game-y. That she just overwrote my festival again. I mean, that's nice and all, but also, I'm spending a lot of money on these things. How much money? Hold on. Yeah, we're spending a lot of money on that. Oh well, whatever. Again, we're at the end of the city, which is, like, for stuff like this, I'm much more willing to do the singular hut, because it's temporary. We're just slapping it down as a temporary construction, and you can kind of think of it as, well, especially for a place like this, like, it's in amongst the city. There's no reason people shouldn't be able to access it. So this doesn't feel video gamey to me. It's not cheesy to me. But if you were to do something where you completely had them separate from one another, so that the nice houses never had to get anywhere near the...
Cyrus could punish this city for its neglect with a low flood.
What? What? Oh. Okay, I was gonna say, how are these two... How's this like this? It's because of this. Whatever. Well, to be honest. So, with all of that in mind, how do we solve this issue to make this better? We've tried multiple different things. This is the cleanest and easiest way of making this work. It's also sort of tileable in the sense that you can put one and then another right next to each other, and they don't interfere with one another, which is nice. And this way of having the stuff that the houses need but don't need access to anywhere in particular on one side, and then this kind of stuff that does need access to, for example, floodplain on the other side, it works quite well. But I feel like we could do better. So the question is how? Because one point of the efficiency rating that I would give something like this is how many houses does one, for example, temple actually supply. And this is 8 per temple. Can we do better? Feel like we can do better. And I'm thinking something we might be able to do is something like this. And I'm going to aim towards fancy residences, right? That's what we're aiming for. That's the idea. So, something I'm missing something. What am I missing? I'm deliberately leaving out the bazaar and the water. Let's see, doctor. Entertainment. Hold on a second. What if we did that? What is in the way? Oh, it's the school. Okay, way to fix that without extending further? I'm not seeing it. Something like this. Oh, she did that directly after we did that? Does that mean that we have 2 festivals going at the same time, or... What does that mean? Interesting. Anyway. Oh, oops, no, that's, I'm doing testing here. I don't want to actually put down houses. What on earth? Oh, it's offset. It's that Right. Nope. This. Okay, that's the most compact this business can be. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So, twice the number of houses? Now, I deliberately left off the bazaar. All of this can be isolated away from everything else. This road does not need to access anywhere else in the city. Does it? I guess it does, because this is gonna need virus, this is gonna need entertainers. But if it's just those two... See, the idea I'm having here, and what I'm trying to achieve, is getting this structure and the rest of these to service as many houses as possible. Yeah, there we go. Nice. We have a bunch of people leaving. Is that a problem? Doesn't look like it. Probably just things running out of pottery or something. We need to do that. I'm not going to do the pottery just yet. Because... yes, thank you. Because we have reached the point where we were technically finished with the city. I'm planning for the next one. And this is an idea, but I don't know that I love it. This is part of the reason that I think this is maybe not the best way to do this. Because with this idea, we would need to have roads connecting to everything else somehow. Something like this or something. Maybe like this. Connecting to the industrial stuff so that it can have access to the houses. Obviously, this is going to have to be in some way close enough to this that we can get the water carrier. So... and then there's the bazaar. This is not the sort of size that allows for symmetry. Center symmetry. So we would have to do something like that. I don't like doing that. We do it when we have to, and we've done it reasonably frequently, but I prefer not to if we can avoid it. We could make this one tile wider this direction. I have an idea forming in my mind that I want to try out. Not sure exactly how this would work, but let's see. Start with... guess it doesn't matter. Something. Yes, festival. Go ahead and keep these going. Don't have enough beer because we just put it into the pyramid. Something... there was that stupid track again. I caught it in time this time, I think. Guess it doesn't really matter, I'm just... yeah, that probably looks better. I'm just testing things out here, so it doesn't need to look pretty. Can you kind of see what I'm going with here? I'm not too sure that this would be a good idea. What do we need next? Go with the physician. Not sure even if this is... Actually, that would... Hang on, let me just finish this. This. What are we missing? It would have to be, like, Bazaar here or something. What are we missing? You know what? Hang on. The idea here is actually this. And then what we would do is... We don't need one there. No. Oh, I didn't put the road there. So that this, let's just ignore this bit at the end, because this just works for whatever. The idea being, this is a continuous road to here. So that would actually want to be roadblock there. Continuous. No intersections anywhere. Except for this tiny little bit here. Right? And then... I'm already seeing why this is not going to work. Or at least probably not going to work. I don't know. Looking at... just watching... Nobody's getting stuck in these parts. So far. But that's gonna be just pure luck, isn't it? Because if he does come out here, for example, that's gonna throw things off. But the idea, generally, here, is that you then do this. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then on the opposite side again, so that'd make it 18. That's not actually better than when we just had the single bit of road with everything in the center, is it? And this is more prone to getting messed up because of these bits. I don't like the large number of roadblocks everywhere, and it's worth mentioning that the distance that he would have to go, let's say him, he came out here, worst case scenario, that's too far. There's no way he's reaching those houses there. This is too complex. But I'm glad I laid it out, because it's an interesting idea. The idea generally being that you have to have a single road with no intersections as much as possible. But everything that the houses need is all on that single road. And then the houses are as well. And this is kind of sort of accomplishing that. This house wouldn't be able to be here, because that's road blocked off there. So, in fact, that makes that 8 on this side, 8 on the other. So that's 16. So this is not actually good. This is terrible. Worth experimenting with, to look at it there, though, but not practical. Let's go back to the previous example, previous idea. Something. Okay, nice. Let's space it out a tiny bit further. Something like this. That leaves more room for beautification in the center, which that's also something that we need to keep in mind, and part of the reason why we can't just have these things directly against one another. Like, in the long run, once we have enough money to put shrines literally everywhere, as we do now, this is not a problem, but getting up to that point, that's the problem. Whereas something like this, and we would have more room for things like that. I don't. Let me try and even this out a smidgen more, make it a little bit easier to follow. Because when it was that and then I just did something like that, that was confusing. What are we missing? School. And there's no getting away from this thing being unsymmetrical, so we're just gonna have to embrace it. There was that track again. This city really likes to play that all of a sudden. That's super annoying. Okay, I went too far. Come on now. That leaves the potential for having something there. Let's say mortuary, for example. I'm definitely missing something. Hang on a second. Let's see. Physician, taxes, school. Why does that look like that's not connected to the road? Oh, it's because there's a booth there. Right. This does actually allow for the possibility of extra booths if we need them. And we would probably have roads there anyway. What else would we need? I like this idea of having an entertainment district that is specifically entertainment. Having this kind of separate. This is a nice idea and I like it. And I think we'll be using that moving forward. What else? Police shouldn't be necessary because of the courthouse. I definitely feel like I'm forgetting something, but looks like this is about all we need. So, let me see. Nope. Give me my gardens, and How much can we fit into this? See, that is annoying. Kind of feel like extending this. I don't know, though. Because this here, that's another nice 2x2. We could just do it like that. No, well, hold on a second. What actually is the size of this? Is that... Oh, I'm the road too far. Oh, that actually does work. This side doesn't quite. So we'd have to do it like this? No. Oh, that's not... No, you know what? I am gonna move it further. Oh, we could push it all the way over there like that. I didn't think of that. I was just thinking of having it directly in the middle. That does leave... That's a whole 3x3 spot right there. We could do a whole nother temple. And then a mortuary. And we've got space for beautification in the center there. Some shrines. Shrines. Statues. What's the biggest statue we can fit here? Probably a medium. Ooh, we could do a couple of mediums in here. Yeah, 2 of them. Space for a shrine there. Some gardens. That'd look nice. Let's just mock this up a little bit more thoroughly. Do something like that. Do something like this. And then just fill the rest in with gardens. Oh wait, I didn't put in the rest of these houses. 2, 3, 4. Now, obviously, this can't actually work because we still need the water carrier and the bazaar. But we could actually put them in wherever on any one of these housing spots. Any one of these gardens could do that, and we could just take this whole thing and just kind of transplant it wherever we feel like. Put it like here. Oh, that's... Oh. Right. Well, whatever. That doesn't matter. Have it to where this is here, and that be the water carrier. On the other side of the city, could put it... That is part of a problem. Yeah. It's not... It's... Well... How wide is this? Hold on a second. This right here is 2, 4, 5... No. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. That is a bit of an issue. It does take up a lot of space. But I guess it's also shrunk in this direction compared to these. Like, this takes, let's see, from here all the way down to here is what is required for the housing actually there, with the school and everything. Well, I guess if you don't count the mortuary. Swap that for that. But this includes the mortuary. Just straight up. Right? So part of the problem here is that this is not one continuous line. It's a loop, so you can't guarantee that everyone will get everything, can you? Especially like the mortuary, maybe he comes out, goes this way, goes... But if he gets this far, then getting back to the mortuary, he'll want to go this way. Maybe this will work. And then what we do is we take a road off of it. Yeah, I know. Has it really been that long? Have we been looking at this for that long? I guess we have. Yeah, we should probably end the episode, actually. My concern is, if, for example, we take a road off like this to reach industrial stuff, which needs to get access to the houses, that's going to reduce the amount of beautification we can have next to the houses, which might, you know, that might be a problem. But I don't know how much of a problem. And we've got these spots right here. Interestingly. That could be a thing, actually. Industrial stuff out that way, here, and here. This is interesting. I feel like it looks like it'd be really good, but it's probably got some problems that I'm just not foreseeing. How many, if we do all of these houses, except for 2 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, 16. That's double.
I'm expecting the worst. The gods must think we've forgotten them.
What are you guys talking about? Okay, whatever. It might be this. I'm not sure. But I do think I want to try this out. Next city. Because that's 16 houses for this many service buildings. That's what I should call them, service buildings. That makes sense. And we don't need to do all of this. We don't need the mortuary. We don't need the third temple, necessarily. So that's potential areas of more beautification if we need it. Maybe. Everything else here is basically necessary. But it's also in, like, the almost smallest footprint that we can cram it into. Like I did the first time I set this up, we could shrink it this way if we need to. But this is not bad because it's got extra beautification in the center, which is gonna be helpful. And in the event that it turns out that not everyone is getting service by everything, because it's a loop and not a continuous line, we could just do that. And that should just solve the issue. Because then it is one continuous line that is completely cut off from everything else in the city. Although that does remind me, we do need at least one connection. But take a look at this. Right? We wouldn't want it to be this close, but because I don't have a lot of room to demonstrate this, let's just kind of say, you know, whatever. Something like that. And then we've got room here. Boom, 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 boom. That all has access to the houses. So that's pulling 3 whole roads off of this housing district. 3 industrial district roads, all off of one housing district. That right there is probably where this is going to not work super well. I.e., it's not going to be quite enough houses for that many buildings. Especially in when we're starting to set it up. Long term, once we've got 92 occupants per house, it's probably okay, but to start with, it might not be. And because we have to have these things, like, we can't just take this and duplicate it over here, necessarily, because we have to have access to the water. So we'd have to duplicate it, you know, with access to water. I wish there was an easier way to measure this, but I'm going to... Let's see. Which one of these is kind of ideal? Let's go with this one. I'm gonna measure this. Real quick. I say real quick, this is gonna take a second. It is... I'm not going to include... well... Should I think of it as this wide? Or one layer of gardens? We've been doing one layer of gardens this whole city. I'm going to consider it that. That width there. From here to here. So basically the temples. So 3, 6, 7. 7 across, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. $30 by 7 is 210 tiles. So that's the footprint that this takes up. Versus, I'm going to go one out for the same reason, gardens along the sides of the houses. I think that's only fair if we're doing this realistically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that's a footprint of 300 tiles. Interesting. So, the way we have been doing it, it's 210 tiles for 8 houses at fancy residence level. versus 300 tiles for 16 houses at the same level, at least in theory, unless I've missed something. Which, even if I have missed something, we can just put it where one of the temples is, because we don't need 3 temples. We do not need 3 temples. I think this is actually more space efficient. Does that is correct, right? 16 houses versus 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Did I say 8? 12. 12 houses. Have I been saying 8 this whole time? 12 houses. 16 houses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yes, 16 versus 12. So that's 4 additional houses. Okay, I'm definitely going a little long on this episode, but one thing I could do, just take this and extend it. There is a maximum amount that we can do this, but the theory is that it's not going that much further. Did I do this wrong? How did I mess this up? Oh. Okay, so we do want it to be there. How many extra houses is that? It was here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Extra houses for this much extra space. Plus about 8 extra houses total, just doing that. Okay, we really need to end this episode, so I'm gonna just... Actually, you know what? We don't need to do this here. We'll just finish this mission at the start of next episode, and then go on to the next mission immediately. Yeah. And I'm gonna experiment with something like this. I think this should work. I'm pretty sure it should work. There is a maximum size that we can get away with, which this is probably too big. Looking at the lengths of these roads, this is probably too big. But we can start with one at this size, the minimum. I mean, not even actual minimum, because we can, again, squeeze it in this way a little bit further. That will still give room for the mortuary. We just won't have room for the third temple, which we don't need anyway. So, yeah. Depending on what the city is, I'm going to try a couple of different iterations of this. If the next city is going to be super warfare focused, then maybe I won't. Well, I'm going to try. Whatever the city is, unless we have 0 room to work with, I'm going to try at least this. I think this, just this, with the road there, It's a good idea to try. We'll give it a go. See if it works. Yes. Next episode. See you there. Thank you for watching. Take care, and farewell.